right, guys. Oh, so today we are down one man. Cap is on here with us, and so he's just gonna stay blacked out up there. So welcome to session zero. It's episode 4. Round of applause.
Yay. I'm just going to let you be the only one clapping.
Guys, I'm fine with
It's
that.
a singular round of applause.
Oh, well, I did say round of applause. Before we get started, I want to go ahead and just knock out a shout out again to TSR. They've been awesome. Our talks with them, though limited at the time, I've been enjoying the reaction, our talks with them. Like I said, TSR Con, by the way, guys, is March 24th, to the 27th next year. It's going to be Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, and it's going to be at the Dungeon Hobby Shop Museum. I think it starts at 9:30 and ends.
It starts at 9 and ends at 9, I believe.
Except for Friday, which I think, or the last day, the 27th, it ends at 5:30 or 5.
5:30.
Yeah, so if y'all in the area...
hold on a second now. Hold on. Last time we said 5, and then now we're saying 5:30. It's got to be one or the other, boys.
So, guys, it's sometime in there, but as long as people know that and you go by, just check them out. Of course, support them as well. You can go onto the TSR Hobby site, and they got some stuff on there to buy. And, of course, they're in the works of putting out some more material too if you're into tabletop games. But yeah. So hey guys, how y'all been?
I'm pretty good.
My leggies hurt.
Oh yeah.
My leggies really hurt.
Yeah, today was day 1 for you to go back to the gym, right?
No, it was not. This is day 6.
My boy's been going for 6 days and hasn't told me.
I told you when I was coming back the last time we did the podcast, I said I was going Monday, and I didn't go Monday, but I went Tuesday to get my membership settled.
Nice, man. How's it going so far? How's the cardio working?
My leggies hurt.
I love to hear it.
It's good. I'm not as sore as I imagined I would be, and I think it's just because I'm not going too terribly hard on myself.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely doing a lot more. I feel better. I'm drinking a lot more water. I'm meal prepping, and my fucking meals are balling. Like I'm booling with. So my meals consist of 4 ounces of salmon, half a chicken breast, 10 pieces of shrimp, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, broccoli, and a cup of rice.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
At that. And it is so good. I mean, even just the salmon alone is just top tier. I've got a little app that I'm sorry if you hear the squishing of my vape juice as I am putting more juice into my vape. But, I mean, all in all, for like 5 meals, it ended up being like $60 for all of that. For the rice, for the broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, the shrimp,
That's lasting you how long?
And I still have leftover rice, because the 60 included a bunch of different packs of veggies. So I've still got a pack of broccoli and cauliflower, 2 packs of broccoli snippets, or however they're called, and then a pack of asparagus. So I've still got stuff for next week. Still in the refrigerator, and I just have to go get more. I have to get more chicken, salmon, and shrimp, so it's going to be even less next week.
Yeah, that's kind of like that HelloFresh and stuff like that, man, which, Jeff does that, and it works for him. In fact, I've seen some of his meals. Some of the guys at the station, they do it too, and they get some, like, just ballin' meals from what it looks like, man. And, I didn't know you get to choose. That's...
Yeah, you get a whole palette of stuff that you can choose from that... It's really, really good. And even, cooking isn't as hard as I imagined it would have been, or cooking for meal prepping, honestly.
Cooking food, I thought was going to be hard.
Well, so I've never had to, really cook. I could cook spaghetti and macaroni and cheese and ramen for myself. That's about it. But I had my Nana to help me. And my Nana was kind of telling me how long something should be cooked for. If this is how you check it, this is what you should probably use.
Yeah. The
salmon took 5 minutes, and it was golden. The chicken took about 10 to 15 minutes, and then the shrimp took about 10 minutes as well. It was really good.
Not bad.
I'm super happy with it.
I'm happy that you're going all in, man. I mean, a lot of people when they do this, they fall off the wagon as the day after they get that membership. So I'm happy that you're actually sticking to it and you're doing the meals too, because people forget that the gym is just a portion of what you have to do if you want to lose weight, and realistically, it's really about your diet and sleep. That's the big two.
Brandon equated it to being about 60-40 in favor of diet. It's really more about your diet being 60% of what you do, and then your workout schedule is about 40% of it.
Your workout's even shorter than that, man. It's sleep. It takes more priority over working out, because sleep helps regulate your hormones and helps you recover and a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
So a lot of people.
I would know. Obviously.
Yeah. Being a sleep tech, but real I feel like we're like doing a commercial for HelloFresh and for stuff like that.
No, I mean, definitely, because this is something I'm proud of. This is something I'm proud of, obviously, and so I want to put it out there.
Dude, I'm proud of you, man. I really am.
So, let's see. Today was day 6. My off days are supposed to be my off days from the gym are supposed to be on Sundays, but I still keep to my diet.
Mm-hmm.
I had to go into work earlier on Friday, so I couldn't go that day because I normally go around 4:45, stay there for an hour, come home, grab a shower, go to work.
Yeah.
But since I had to go in early, I couldn't make it, so I went about 2 a.m. Saturday morning, and I told the owner whenever I saw him next, I said, I don't know if you look at the security footage overnight, but I apologize for my terrible singing. Because I'm just singing my heart out as I'm just pedaling away on the little bike. But I weighed myself, because I always weigh myself after I get home from the gym, and I log it in a little book. And I've got a little app too. Drake, I'm going to send this to you. This is pretty cool. Yeah. It's a little app that keeps track of everything.
I might actually know it.
I'm down 2 pounds already. So I'm really happy about that, and it's in line with what the app was informing me. It's like if you stick just to the diet, like you don't even have to work out, but if you stick to just the diet, the app suggests you'll lose 2 pounds a week. Because you also have to set the day you want to lose the weight by, and you have to set the goal amount of weight that you want to lose. And it calculates it and it says, all right, if you stick to this diet strictly without even any kind of exercise, this is how much you'll lose by that day.
So you're saying it pretty much calculates your caloric deficit for you?
It absolutely, and it does so much more. Like it calculates your saturated fats, your normal fats. It calculates protein.
That's kind of all just put together. If you hear somebody say being in a caloric deficit, which realistically, if you're trying to lose weight, that is the main one that you need to worry about. People are stuck on fats and stuff like that, but really it's calorie input to output. That's how come. Yeah, go ahead.
It's really nice because like you can log all of your meals for the day and it keeps up with all of your calories, and you can scan barcodes on stuff. And it will recognize it, and it'll pull it up.
I think I've seen this.
A little health block, and it's like, oh, okay, so this is how many servings did you have of this? And you put it in, and it says, okay, so this is how many calories you consumed for this many servings. This is how many grams of fat. This is all of that shit, and it automatically keeps up with it for you. And then, like, let's say you meal prep, so you go to the next day. You don't have to manually input it. You just say log the same meal.
Yep.
And so it just transfers it over from the yesterday to today. And it's really cool. I'll have to send it to you, Drake, and let you take a look at it. It is really, really cool.
Yeah, please do. I love that kind of stuff. But let's go ahead and jump into knock out a couple topics, and then I want to hear about what happened with that trying to sell the truck, man. But
oh my lord!
First off, did y'all hear Disney is charging a little bit more now, and what they're doing with their subscriptions?
No.
Yeah. So I thought this was interesting. So. Yeah, so Hulu of course owns the ESPN Plus and Hulu. Disney owns them, and being that their reportedly their numbers have now fallen stagnant, they've pretty much gotten the most on their Disney Plus as they can, because there's only so many people who are going to subscribe, and being that the world's open, no longer on really lockdown anymore, people aren't stuck at home, and some people even dropping these subscriptions. Well. They have another shareholder meeting coming up, and they're going to have to explain that. But this is what it looks like, and a lot of people are saying this. but it looks like they're using the fact that they own Hulu and the ESPN Plus as well to boost their numbers by saying if you have Hulu, you have to have Disney and ESPN Plus. So they're making.
So they're just bundling it all together
Exactly.
and charging more.
And not giving you a choice. So if you have Hulu, you have to pay for everything. If you have Disney Plus, you have to pay for everything. ESPN Plus, you have to pay for everything.
No, that's fucking stupid.
Yep. So normal TV, man, and here's what's really stupid. So it's around $70 now.
For a year?
No. That's like I think month, man.
No.
Yeah, hold on.
There's no way.
Maybe it's a year.
Disney Plus was $6 by itself, and I know
Hulu went up $10.
Like 10.
Yeah, but it went up 6 years running. I think every year it kept going up. Let me see. But it went up. Maybe it's $70 for the year. But it's. Let's see.
It says Disney Plus
Monthly
right now,
price
$80.
$70. I was right.
What?
Yeah, go to the Hulu plans and prices. Yeah, Hulu Basic is $5.99 for 30 days, $11.99 for 30 days with no ads, $64.99 for Hulu Basic and the Live, and then $70.99 for Hulu with no ads in the premium plan. But here's the thing is they're upping it and they're forcing you to get the other one, so it's gonna be about $70 and you'll have all three. But they're forcing you $70 a month, so now you're paying more than what you'd have paid for normal cable, which was about $40 a month.
Hold on, I want to see if I can find this.
Yeah. Need me to shoot you the link?
$6.99 a month, no ads, $12.99. So Hulu, no ads plus live TV is the $71 or $70.99 a month.
Yeah. But
Okay, so what I'm looking at here is the Disney bundle includes Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus for just $13.99 a month. Existing Hulu subscribers can keep their Hulu subscription and sign up for the Disney bundle. That's what I'm seeing.
what are you looking at? I'm looking at the TV guide.
I'm looking at Hulu's website as of now.
This is
That's what it's charging at the moment.
okay. See, I'm looking at November 15th, 2021. Hulu and Hulu Live TV plans, pricing, channels, and more
Let's see here.
on TV guide.
Let's see what the Disney bundle is. Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus is $14 a month, $13.99, but only those.
Okay, so I'm seeing two separate things here. So no, it's including Hulu Live TV. Hulu Live TV is included in that. That's why it's $70 to $99 a month. Because Hulu Live TV is expensive by itself, anyways.
Yeah. So that's for like the whole plan is like 70 something a month, but apparently they're bumping it up.
That's viable. That's absolutely viable. Then I can absolutely see that because I mean, having live TV is. I mean, you look at cable nowadays. Cable, like at least with Spectrum for us, cable's like $50.
What?
Yeah, and then bundle you get internet with it, it goes up to $70.
Here's the weird thing about it though. Like if you have like a Roku TV or something, just you got free cable. You can go on there and just watch TV for free. That's what I don't get is you really don't have to charge like you do, and then you also have, YouTube. You have all these other options and stuff for actual, television.
Yeah, and I get that, but at the same time, it's. I mean, yeah, you've got YouTube, so you've got an infinite amount of options to watch out there. You could get Roku, you could get Fire Stick, and you could get live TV. Like even my Nana has a Fire Stick, and she can watch pretty much any live TV that she wants. But this is their way of bundling their live TV together with all of their services to make it more appealing. I mean, they're the three big brands that are bundling together, more than likely, especially people who watch sports. I guarantee you people will handily throw down $72.99 a month to watch sports because with ESPN you get to watch every sport out there: baseball, soccer, football.
Okay.
fucking golf. I mean,
I could see
NASCAR.
I
all
could
that
see
stuff.
that. I could see that being viable, like you said, for somebody who actually likes all that stuff. But let's say you have somebody who doesn't, and let's say you have somebody who, um, you know, they're not a big fan. Maybe they don't like sports. Maybe they don't want that, and they're like, "Can I get rid of it?" And they're like, "No, you have to pay for it. You have to subscribe to it. We're subscribing you to everything." Well, they're
Well,
like, "Why?"
yeah, but that's what I'm saying is I'm also seeing here the plan for $13.99 a month that's got Disney, Hulu, and ESPN. It just doesn't have Hulu Live.
Yeah, no. They're. What I'm saying is, it's going to be It's going to not going to be like really a choice from what the reports are. It's going to be, they're going to up the price, and then when you subscribe to one, you're paying that extra because they're going to go ahead and subscribe you to everything. That way, they can boost their numbers for the shareholders.
No, I get what you're saying. Just the difference is pricing. Is just without Hulu Live TV, it's $13.99. With Hulu Live TV, it's $79. Because it would not make sense for them to charge ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu just straight for $79. You're gouging at that point, and they will lose numbers because of that. They would absolutely lose numbers. But
Yeah,
I can
no.
see because like ESPN Plus is like $5.99 a month. The same thing with Disney Plus. It's $6.99 a month, and then Hulu is with ads is $7.99 a month.
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, the Hulu $70.99.
So for them to bundle like that, it actually kind of saves you money if you get it without the live TV. But I can see like rather than like if you just want Hulu, you also have to get Disney and ESPN bundled with it, and then you have to pay that extra rather than just $8.
Exactly. That's just what I thought was interesting was that their tactic for doing this. It's pretty stupid in my opinion. It's kind of slimy. It's like, dude, just leave it like it was. Just because people aren't getting it right now, oh well, you know. But it is what it is. There's, it's a super mega corporation. They can really do whatever the hell they want.
I was going to say, there's nothing much we can really do about it.
Yeah. These guys have more power than presidents.
Pretty much.
Disgustingly. Elaine.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Zach, you wanted to talk about, you told me you had some WoW news, but you didn't explain what it was.
So, actually, I'm about to go check on my thingy here for it. I want to see where I'm at in terms of my points. So there's I think this is a really cool thing to do in any game really, but WoW is running, or not WoW, this isn't even WoW, this is a different group of people. They're running a fantasy draft for the new season of the Mastery, which I'll explain what that is. But it's a fantasy draft for. So what you do is you draft a team of 6 people, and there are 6 tiers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 being the lowest, 5 being the highest, and then a wild card tier. And what these people are doing is they are creating hardcore characters in the Season of the Mastery Classic WoW, which Season of the Mastery is another re-release of Classic WoW, but all of the content is being released very quickly. Rather than it being over 2 years, it's every few months. And so how the hardcore part of that works is when your character dies, they're dead. Mm-hmm. There's nothing you can do about it. So how that works in a fantasy draft, at least in this case, every level you get from 1 to 60 or from 2 to 60 is a point. So at level 60, you've got 50, or no, you do get a point at level 1, so 60 points at level 60.
Okay.
Every dungeon you complete is worth an additional 10 points. And so, what you do is you draft this team, and you try to just get as many points as possible. It didn't cost you anything, and the draft is running right now, and it's running for 3 weeks. I think we're actually fixing to get into week 2. Mm-hmm. So right now, I'm currently got 299 points. I don't know how many out of possible that is. I haven't calculated it today. But 299 points out of the team that I have drafted. And the rewards, I mean, they're minor rewards. Like if you achieve a certain tier of points, you get a free like speed running guide for Season of the Mastery, which is like, that's pretty cool. They also have something called Power Gum, which is, I guess, just like gamer gum, which I just thought was funny. I thought was hilarious.
Mhm.
But there are some pretty interesting names in here. The main one being Snacky Box. Snacky Box is one of my favorite WoW YouTubers, and he is a part of this. He is hilarious, really cool dude. But there are some really big names in here, like Guzu. He's my wild card pick. So I'll tell you my team. Some of these people I don't exactly know, but I had just a good feeling. So Tier 1 I've got Snacky Box, Tier 2 I've got Sarth, I think that's how you say his name. Tier 3 I've got Frostadamus.
Yeah.
Tier 4 I've got Jamin, and Tier 5 I've got Parla, and like I said, wildcard tier I've got Guzu. And so far I've got 299 points.
Nice. Yeah. What's up? Do you know Jokered? I think is his name.
Yes, he is actually competing, and he actually
He died. Yeah,
the other day.
Yeah, that was one of the articles I was looking at when I was talking to you about it.
He died at level 50, and so here's the thing with this thing. Obviously, like I said, it's hardcore. If you die, your character is permadead. That doesn't take you out of the competition, though.
Mhm.
What it does is you have to create a new character back at level 1 and level all the way through it again.
Yeah, I think he reached level 50, didn't he?
I know he reached level 50. I don't know how he died. I am going to look that up, how he died. But I think he is...
The article I read doesn't explain. It says he made a single mistake and it ended him.
Let me see here.
But...
let's see here.
But apparently he was also... what was that? He was the first player in the world to reach level 60 on his No Mage, following the release of WoW Classic in 2019.
Yes, he absolutely was.
If you were doing that, you're playing a mage. Mage is the quickest way.
Huh.
Oh, I just saw how he died.
Is it worthy?
That's unfortunate.
Western Plaguelands?
He was up at Sorrow Hill in Western Plaguelands, and he had pulled too many skeletal sorcerers, and he got dazed and couldn't get out.
Yeah, that'll do it.
No, he didn't even get dazed. He got fucking frostbolted, and he couldn't get out. He was out of mana. Wow, that is mighty unfortunate. Level 50.
He was so close. He was just a boy.
So he was the first person to reach level 60. He did it in less than 3 days, I think, whenever the Classic WoW released again.
Now some hot speed running.
And the way you go about leveling a mage like that, it's pretty interesting. Basically, I'm not going to get into all the intricacies of it, but you pull a bunch of mobs and you just AoE them down.
Yeah.
And with mages, especially frost mages, they have a lot of abilities that slow or root people in place. And your big AoE that you're using to AoE them down also slows them. So you're constantly kiting them away, this big group of mobs, while you're constantly slowing them down and AoEing them down, and you just get tons of experience. And like I said, in less than 3 days, he hit level 60. So,
well, man,
but when he did that, there obviously wasn't a, like, you die once and it's over, you have to restart. He could die as many times as he wanted. So it definitely is a big risk. It is very risky to do that. And considering what I looked at, they were his level and one level above him, so level 50 and 51. So they were hitting decently hard, and mages and WoW are pretty squishy when it comes to that sort of thing. So he got reset. So anybody, his points get reset too. I forgot to mention that. So
oh man!
Anybody who had them on their fantasy team, when he died, they lost all of the points he had accrued, and now he has to restart.
God dang, that sucks.
He's one of the higher tier players. Actually, he's a wild card player, so he's definitely one of those that is going to be pumping out those points for people. And I think he's actually one of the first major deaths for this thing. Now, the whole point of this, right? The whole point of this fantasy draft, it's actually called Road to Ragnaros. Now, Ragnaros is the final boss in the first raid that you can get into in Classic WoW. Yeah. And so all of these people are working their way up to getting to where they can take on Ragnaros. But again, it's still hardcore the entire way through. So if you manage to get to him, because you have to go through like how many bosses are there in Molten Core Lane?
There's a lot.
Like 12?
Honestly, I don't remember the exact number, but there's enough such that some people are turned off from it because they can't handle 40-man raids.
Exactly. There are a lot of bosses, and so you have to get through all of those bosses and then get to Ragnaros, all while not dying, because if you die, you have to restart, and then get to Ragnaros and then defeat him without dying. Now, I don't know how it works in terms of raids go, because like normally in a raid, if you die, you can still complete the boss after some people have died. So if they manage to down him while some of the hardcore players are dead, I don't know if that counts or not. That's something that hasn't really been clarified to me.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely going to be interesting because most of these guys that are doing this are all a bunch of streamers, and they've been streaming this thing the entire time. Guzu, damn, I didn't know he had gotten that far. Guzu right now is at level 32 lane.
Yeah, Guzu.
Snacky, I think, is still at 23. Yeah, he's still at 23. So yeah, this is a really cool event that is being sponsored by like I said, this is nothing to do with Blizzard or anything like that. This is somebody else, a different group of people who sponsored this that they just thought it would be a cool idea. And I like that. I like the fact that people can sponsor certain events like this in these MMOs and these games.
Oh yeah, man. I was looking up looking up news on Blizzard and stuff, and I saw the Hearthstone like forums and stuff are still one of the biggest most trafficked forums out there.
Absolutely.
Actually, Here's the Storm is too, Lane. It's up there on that list of top 10. And I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting that. Another thing I saw though when I was looking around, and I went to I wanted to see what new tabletop stuff was coming out, and I saw that they actually CMON, they're supposed to be making another Marvel tabletop game. These are the same people who did Marvel United. So apparently this would be coming out with another one that's, I'm guessing, going to feature or be centered around Galactus and the Silver Surfer.
Interesting.
Yeah, well, I've always liked those characters. Galactus, to me, like in the Fantastic Four movie where they brought him in, the Rise of the Silver Surfer, that was garbage. I mean, that was not Galactus, so that was like a space tornado, man. That wasn't him.
It was. It literally was a storm just roaming through.
Yeah, it didn't have him, didn't have his throne, didn't have any of that stuff. And that was disappointing. That was super disappointing. And the whole finale to it, the way they ended it. Another thing I saw was, did you know that CD Projekt Red is doing a Cyberpunk tabletop?
Hopefully it goes better than the video game.
Yeah, well, it's called Cyberpunk Red, and so it's Cyberpunk itself was actually a tabletop. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing with any luck they're going to be relying on all that material they already have. So it would be really hard for them to screw this up. But Roll20 Con, they announced it. At the Roll20 Con, it was announced, and I was like, I didn't know that they were making another one. I was like, that's a big deal. I mean, I actually want to play it. There was that one, and that's actually also how I heard about that Vaesen series I was talking to you about. That I was looking up the artwork and stuff too. And to me, I love that lore. I love the British, Scottish lore, stuff like that. That just kind of takes the cake for me when I saw this, and it's based over there, and it's very dark. It's a horror based tabletop game, and I'm actually gonna look more into it when I get the chance, and I might actually purchase it. But they're doing some expansions on it, and I'm so interested. I might buy it and run a campaign just to see how it is.
How well it goes, yeah.
Yeah. Lane, what was it you were talking to me about, man?
Well, many different things. We didn't go into detail about. I mean, we talked about it last time, but Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Bad. But also, there's another thing, right? And I feel like we didn't talk about this as much. Battlefield 2042 is officially on the list for the top worst rated or reviewed game.
Okay, I do have an opinion about that.
Yeah, I know you don't feel any specific negative way about it, like people are making it out to be, but it's there.
They didn't do a campaign, did they?
I know
right?
it's there, but I think people are judging it way too harshly. I think people, because I've played several hours of it at this point. It is not as bad as people are saying it is. People are just, I will say, it is vastly different from any other Battlefield. It is vastly different. But it is still fun. It still has that Battlefield feel of, you plop in and you're like, what the fuck is going on? It's very, very fun. I enjoy it a lot. Now, there are some bugs that need to be worked out, and, we've already talked about a lot of this stuff. There are, and everybody knows, Battlefield games are buggy when they release. They very much are. But nonetheless, it is still fun, save for one thing. And I know this is a big topic across multiple people's list of complaints, is the bloom that's in the game. The bloom is absolute garbage.
The what?
So bloom, it's not the visual effect. Bloom, as it's being referred to in this instance, is when you're aiming down sight. You're aiming down your sights.
Mm-hmm.
You start shooting at somebody. It's not. The best way to describe it is they're trying to make it a little bit more realistic, where your bullets are not exactly going right where your aim down sights are supposed to be going. It's kind of firing within that reticle.
Yeah.
Right? It's firing within that area. So that's what they refer to as bloom, because once it leaves your barrel, it kind of blooms out a little bit.
So they're essentially stealing the actual term bloom for something that they don't like. You should call it something other than bloom.
That's just what everybody's been calling it.
Just call it inaccuracy. Like what?
No, it's not. But it's not inaccuracy, though. That's the thing. Is these people, you're putting your sights on somebody and you're shooting your gun at them. And I've experienced this too. It really felt kind of cheap. But you're putting your fucking, whatever you sight, you have iron sights, red dot, holographic, whatever. It's right on the money, and you start shooting at them, and not a single fucking bullet hits these people because of the bloom effect that's on all the guns. So what it turns into is, rather than it being a skill-based gun game of, like, this is the gun I'm choosing when I'm aiming at somebody who should hit them, and it's skill-based, now it's more RNG, because it's like, okay, hopefully half of these bullets will actually hit the target whenever they're blooming out from where I'm aiming. So it definitely changes up how the game plays. I, on the other hand, have taken a different route, as it were. There's no bloom when you're shooting them with a fucking shotgun. It's like, oh, you want bloom? How about a wall of lead?
So, yeah, but realistically, that's kind of real.
But that's the thing is
because
there's no game out there that is ever. I mean, there are a few, but no, it's a bad way to base your aiming system within a game.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's bad. I would say that because of the typical person games is used to, oh, my reticle's on it, then surely that's how it works. It's a video. They don't like it because it's something that they're not used to. That's not a bad way to incorporate it into your game if that's what you want it to be.
Yeah.
Because if that's what they wanted it to be, then obviously that's
No,
what we said.
I wholeheartedly disagree. It is a bad way. If you experience it and see what I'm talking about, it is literally left up to RNG if you hit something or not.
I'll have to check it out to see. Now, is it just like anytime you shoot, like what if I stop and shoot, will it be more accurate? Or is it just when you're running and gunning? Because if that's the case,
no,
I agree.
I'm literally, because I saw a video of it the other day, is this dude was on it, he was using an LMG, and he is just laying down fire. And he's got iron sights. I mean, it's right on the money for this dude that he's shooting at. not a damn bullet hits him. And then he just looks like at his camera like, what the fuck? And he's just shooting at another guy. Same thing. It's while you're moving and you're standing still, and there's no difference between the two.
That to me does seem like a problem, because in real life, I mean, they can alter that, hopefully, because in real life, if you were to stop, calm down, catch your breath, that would be more accurate. But I agree that bloom, as you're calling it, as you're moving, that should be there, because that is going to happen. You think you're looking down the sight, but you're breathing and your arms moving, and that will happen. Like you
I have to say I disagree in terms of mechanics of gameplay, because it like I said, it turns it in from being skill based into just RNG.
not all the time, because there's still skill there. Like, you'd have to stop, slow down, or...
I'm telling you, boys, if you see what I'm talking about, there is no skill there.
Maybe
I've
this
seen,
is...
like, a video example of it, right? And the thing about it is, if it's something that they wanted to incorporate, they either did it slightly the wrong way, or it's a bit overtuned, or people are getting pissy about it because they're like, my reticle was right on him, and it gave him enough chance to, time to put his reticle on me, and then he got lucky enough such that, he actually landed the bullets. It doesn't matter. That system, in and of itself, is going to be negatively received because it's not something that's commonly in video games, for one.
But it's not even negatively received. It's done wrong. If you look at a game that's done it right, it's fucking... It's
the system
bad.
in and of itself isn't the problem. It's how they implemented it.
Because you look at a game like Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike has bloom out the ass, and that's actually something you can manage. You can have the skill to negate that.
Yeah.
That's not the case here.
But that's what you're...
not the case here.
That's what you're saying.
It just comes back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is...
That's what Lane's saying.
You're saying that the problem is the system in place, but it's not. It's the incorrect of the system. The system itself is fine, but the way they implement it...
Then I was miswording it, yeah. The way the system is built as it is just bad.
Sounds to me like the two of y'all are agreeing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, listen here, Mr. Catchphrase. But
yeah.
No, it's like I said, if you were to compare two games like this that have bloom, you look at Counter-Strike and you look at Battlefield. Counter-Strike, you can actually have the skill to manage bloom, but in Battlefield, there's no way to do it. Like, even with attachments, even with all of this stuff, it still is just complete and utter garbage, and there's no way to change it. Whereas in Counter-Strike, you can have the skill to know the firing patterns of the weapon. Like, oh, this needs to be done in short bursts, or oh, I need to fucking drag my mouse down to account for recoil as well as the bloom. It's just something that you can't control, and so it turns it into RNG rather than it being skill based, because it's not skill based.
Yeah.
As it stands right now in Battlefield. Other than that, though, that is the biggest gripe that I have, and that I know a lot of other people have. There are some bugs, but that's kind of what makes it fun. Is the bugs aren't necessarily that bad. They're just really, really funny sometimes. I know the other big gripe that people have, and this is something that is existed in Battlefield, is Levolutions, where in the map that you're playing, big events can happen, and buildings will completely crumble, or a big desert storm will roll in, or something like that. In this game, it's not as big of a factor. It still exists, but it's not as big of a factor, and people are complaining about that. I don't see a problem with it, because rather than it playing such a big factor, whereas it used to, it would totally compromise certain maps, and it would totally change mid-game how things operate and how things work, and what points you need to take, and this, that, and the other. In this game, it's not so much that it does that as the map just changes, and it gives you access to new areas, or it gives you better positions, or it doesn't totally ruin the map in terms of gameplay.
Well,
I can tell you, the big ass fucking lightning storm that rolls in with the tornado tearing ass through the battlefield, that is fun as hell, and that is really cool to experience, especially when you're sitting on top of a building parachuting down. It's pretty fun.
So, real quick, guys, the OLED switch, when the hell did that come out?
I'm not exactly sure.
I don't even know what you guys were talking about with that, so I'm just here to listen.
So Brett walked up in here a little bit ago, and he said that he was GameStop or something like that, and they were selling an OLED switch, And he said he didn't know when that came out. And I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. I looked it up and I was like, oh shit, yeah, there is. And me and Lane were just looking at some of the specs on it. And Zach, do you have the stream pulled up right now?
I don't.
Okay, well, if you pull it up, I'm going to show the difference between the two. So this is the Switch OLED versus regular Switch.
Hold on. I'm getting there.
Yeah. So from what Lane explained and from what he researched, is the OLED actually the pixels project their own image instead of, or their own light source instead of the light source from the back of the screen projecting upon the pixels, something like that. Is that accurate, Lane?
Yeah, there's no backlight required for the pixels to have their light. With OLED, each individual pixel produces its own light.
Oh, that's cool as hell.
So that's super cool. But now notice in this footage here that the OLED, there's almost no glare on it, right? But in some of these cases, like The Witcher looks beautiful, but in some of the cinematics, you can actually see the pixels. And that was an issue. I was like, ooh, I don't like that. Yeah, so, but as you can tell, like, it does look great. It looks amazing. Me personally, I love the Switch. I don't know, either one of y'all have one?
I do.
I don't. I've been meaning to get one.
Yeah, what I do with the Switch is I only buy Switch exclusives for it. And then anything else that I want, I get for like my PS4 or PC or whatever it is. But that way, I don't have Monster Hunter, for instance, or actually, here's a good example: Witcher. I have Witcher on PS4, but this way I don't have it on there and on the Switch, because what's the purpose of that, really? That to me, that's like a waste.
As far as this, what I'm seeing here, this OLED Switch, I think it just might be something like that. It could be fixed later on. But it may just be one of those just necessary sacrifices if you're wanting something to look better.
Yeah, which it does, and I think too, because from y'all having played a Switch prior, that glare is a pain in the ass sometimes.
It really is.
You'll
now,
be in
the
a
other
car
thing as well
something.
is this could totally be the fact that they're having to record it through a different camera. So they're having to record a screen through a camera rather than it being a actual game capture. That could be what's causing the pixels to show up as well.
That could be it.
Yeah.
That absolutely could be it. Me personally, I think it does still look better. You look at a screen long enough, and those aren't going to matter to you. Those little dots,
exactly.
They're not going to matter to you, really. The clarity and the lack of glare and stuff like that, I enjoy.
Would definitely be worth it, yeah.
Yeah, I think it really adds depth to the image, which something that Lane had mentioned prior. He said that it adds more blacks and tones and stuff. And then I didn't know what he meant until actually I saw the image, and I was like, damn.
Yeah, there's way more vibrance. It doesn't feel like the sun is just constantly in your eyes.
Smacking you in the
face.
face.
The greens are more greens, the blues are more blue, and everything just has a deeper color to it that is really, really nice.
The snozzberries taste like snozzberries. It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I think the price was like $3 something for it. Let me see again. That's what Brett was saying that they were selling for in store. But let me see what they're going for online real quick.
I've got a Switch Lite. I don't have a full Switch.
Oh yes, that is another thing. This one has a 7-inch screen, while a full Switch has, I think, like a 6.2 inch, and then a Lite has a 5.5.
So it's a little bit bigger too.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit bigger, and also they said that the OLED Switch, also what was it? I told you, Lane. It updates the actual, not the console itself updates. They said that was one big thing. Was it the console or was it the port?
I don't remember.
I was telling you earlier when we were looking this up. Yeah. Switch OLED model, $349.99. The upgraded Switch includes a bigger 7-inch OLED screen, a wide adjustable stand for use in tabletop mode, and 64 gigabytes of storage for shoppers with visions of a Switch OLED in their hands this holiday. Yeah. I can't find where that was. They were talking about it being updatable as well. So I think they were talking about the port, which I was like, what? I was like, that doesn't make sense. Oh, Zach, tell me about this truck thing, because when you came on, you were telling me why you were busy yesterday, and y'all were selling the truck.
Oh my lord! So we're trying to sell my mom's Yukon. It's a 2008 Yukon. We found somebody who wanted to buy it, but we had to drive an hour out to go meet the dude. So like, okay, we'll drive an hour out there, we'll meet the dude, and we'll get this settled, right? The pictures that we took of the Yukon had subs in the back of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're not selling it with the subs, and that was made obvious. So we drive an hour and we meet the guy, and real nice dude. He was very he was very happy that we drove out there to meet him, and he really didn't feel like driving all the way out here to Montgomery to meet us, and he had to haul like a load of stuff. I guess he drives a big truck. That's neither here nor there. He was happy that we came out there to where he lived.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Do you want to can we take it for a test drive?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." So I hop in with him, and we roll on down the road, and I'm telling him about stuff. I'm telling him about the motor that needs to be put back into the AC unit, but the part is literally in the back seat in a bag. Like all of the parts he needs to work on stuff, it's all there. So he's like, "Okay, cool." I was telling him things about it.
So you have the stuff that he needs already in it.
Yes, and he's perfectly fine with that.
Okay.
And then I mentioned, it doesn't have the subs in the back. He goes, oh. I was like, yeah, but that, if you do want to put subs in here, the wiring is already there. We literally just unhooked it all. So you just put the subs back there, you hook up the wires, you're good to go. And he was like, well, I'm buying this for my daughter. And he said that she was very excited that she would be getting speakers with this. And I was like, no, we weren't selling it with the speakers. That should have been made clear.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah. He's like, how young people are. I guess he assumed I was a bit older, but he's like, how young people are. They want to listen to this music and stuff. I was like, no, I got you. And he goes, damn. And I'm like, you really don't want to have this conversation with her, do you? And he's like, no, not really. So we get back. He's like, let me call her real quick and see what she wants to do. Because, like I said, he's buying it for her, and she's just going to pay him back over an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So he hops on the phone with her. He's on the phone with her for about 5 minutes. He's like, I'm going to go down the block and go get her from my house. We're going to come back up here. I'm going to get her to take a look at it. And we're like, okay. So he leaves. And it's about 10 minutes. And we're like, that's not very good to go a block and it be 10 minutes. That's not very good. Yeah, he's like, how young people are. I guess he assumed I was a bit older, but he's like, I can hear myself through you, Drake. And stuff. I was like, no, I got you. And he goes, damn. And I'm like, you really don't want to... Drake!
Yeah, that should have ended.
I could... Oh, okay. Yeah. Anyways, he leaves, and it's about 10 minutes, and we're kind of worrying. And then he texts Brandon, because I brought Brandon with me so I don't have a ride back to the house. He texts Brandon, and he goes, she doesn't want it. And we're like, you're fucking kidding me. And Brandon asks, is this about the subs? And like, if so, is there anything we can work out? And the guy didn't respond. At least as far as I know, he didn't respond. And so we drove out there for an hour. We drove an hour out there and then had to drive an hour back just for this person, his daughter, to say, I don't want this truck you're buying for me because of some $100 subs in the back that I'm not getting. Jesus. Those subs aren't even $100. They're $60, right? They're $60 subs. It kind of pissed me and Brandon off. And David. David came with us. It pissed us off because we drove an hour out there to meet the dude, and he was ready to get it.
Waste of time, man.
And then his daughter was just like, I don't want it because it doesn't have the speakers in the back. It's got speakers already in it. It just doesn't have the subs in the back. Like, what is the problem?
How
here?
old was she?
I don't know. We didn't meet her. She didn't even come up there to take a look at it.
No, god dang.
Like he said, he was leaving to go get her and bring her back so she could look at it. She didn't even come look at it in person. So I'm like, you've got to be kidding me, dude. So we were pretty heated about
There was a
that.
failure
We
to
drove all the way
communicate.
out there with the intention of this dude buying it, and then not buy it because his daughter didn't want it because it didn't have the speakers or the subs in the back of it.
Speaking of subs, you know I get that new Jeep, right?
Yeah.
That thing has a sub in the back.
The what?
That thing has a sub in the back.
Oh yeah.
Didn't even know it. Didn't even know it. And you know, with me, my music,
Oh yeah.
I got in there and I cranked it up, right? And I'm like, all right. It sounds pretty good. Turn up a little bit more. And I was like, I look back behind me. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's got the sound bar. It's got the little tweeters in there. And I'm like, what is that thumping? And I got out and I went back there and I was like, holy shit, there's a sub. I was like, nobody told me. And so, like, the bass was actually really low in it, and I turned up the bass, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, it, like, thunders your chest, man.
Damn, why is my whole body shaking in this Jeep?
I was like, oh, that caffeine's getting to me today. Oh.
But no, we took the subs out because, I mean, they were mine, and I gave them to Mom, and, she's giving them back to me for when I get my new truck. I'm going to put them in my new truck.
Uh-huh.
But we had made it clear, and then it really kind of upset us. A, because we drove an hour out there and then had to drive an hour back. B, because Mom really needs to sell it, because she just needs something better for herself. And either way. After the podcast today, we've got another guy coming to take a look at it. We don't have to drive a damn hour to go meet this dude.
Thank God. Lane, what have you been up to, man, yourself?
Who, me?
Yeah. It sounds like we've all been dealing with some stupid shit except for you.
Well, I mean, everything's pretty much fine, honestly.
Yeah. Lane's first world problems.
Lane's first world problems. I stubbed my toe the other day. So I'm pretty upset about that.
He burned his...
my toenails like a couple days ago. That was nice. It's been a little bit since I did that. Probably wouldn't have been able to climb a telephone pole, but, you know.
Burned his mouth drinking coffee. Most inconvenient thing he's had all week.
I mean, I do have some coffee next to me.
Oh, I knew it.
I'm hydrating. I am drinking that dihydrogen monoxide.
Yeah.
You know, literally everybody that's ever drank that has died at some point in their...
You're absolutely right. It took them generally about 80 years.
Well, I mean, it's been growing like less and less effective in killing people as, you know, advances in modern medical technology have become a thing, but, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I told y'all about the headache going on, right, with the Jeep. Well, it's finally settled, and I have it. It is in my name. I mean, it's mine. But, like, now there's a couple of issues. Look, the guy was pretty cool about it, okay? So it was from a private seller. And the headlights a little wonky, but they're aftermarket LED, beautiful, beautiful little bitches. And then the back driver's side, the rear driver's side door window will not roll down. We checked out the wires because he said he thinks it's just unplugged. Well, with a Jeep, you can unplug it pretty easy, plug it up, take off the doors, shit like that. We look at where it's coupled in, and we're like, it's completely fine. We're like, is it a bad cord? And we're checking them, and they're like, doesn't look like it. And then we kind of pull on the cord a bit, and we think this guy took the door off without disconnecting it because he told me he's never had a Jeep. He's not a Jeep guy. We think he took the door off without disconnecting it, think it'll just pop off. And he probably yanked it. And he probably pulled the cord and unplugged it inside of the door. So we're going to have to go in. We're going to actually have to take the door off, or the paneling on the door off, and square off the wires. Make sure they're square.
If that's not the case, while you're taking the door off as well, you might want to check the motor on it too, because it could very well just be the motor for the window.
It could be, and again, I'm hoping that's not the case. It's just the wires. The less I have to buy, man, the better. Since I just bought this and it wasn't cheap, so
you can always splice the wires together and then put a wire nut on it, and you should be good.
Yeah. Hopefully, like I said, man, that it's just they're pulled out, and maybe it's just a plug or a coupling or something. Hopefully, I'm not going to have to actually put wire on wire. And Jeff is going to help, and the guys from the Jeep Club might, be able to square that away.
Yeah.
That's what I'm dealing with right now, guys. But I don't know.
That's not the worst thing in the world, though. You could have definitely been worse.
Oh God, it could have been worse, man. I gotta rotate balance it. That's about it, dude. Yeah,
It's not too terribly bad.
yeah. So where in the world is Cap, man?
I don't know. He messaged me. He was messaging me the other day. Because I'm getting all my ducks in a row for Thanksgiving because Lane and Cap are coming to my house for Thanksgiving.
Ooh, nice.
And it says he's on right now. Hold on a second.
Yeah, your boy here. I'm working, so that's what's going on with that.
But yeah, he was messaging me about stuff for the Sunday game, and I mean he was up pretty early. That was about 1 in the morning, roughly. Yesterday.
No doubt he's just sleeping.
So he could probably be. He probably is sleeping. I just messaged him to see if he's online because it says he's on Discord.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have to find out.
Yeah. Let's see. Besides that, as far as news goes and gaming, there's not too much going on in the gaming world. There is that stuff going on with the Kyle case, which I'm so happy. I'm so happy. That poor boy. He's only 17. He has to deal with all this bullshit.
Bro. And, well, now he's going to be fucking rich.
We'll see.
I mean, that's an easy defamation case. That is a very easy defamation case.
I'll tell you what's going to be easy defamation is if all these people on Twitter don't shut up, he can go after them for for slander. Absolutely, because he's been tried and he won in court now. So what he can do is if people keep lying about him because the court said that he, all that was pretty much lies, that he won. So if they continue to talk this way, yeah, your boy can sue and he can win. He can make back that money. And I know there are plenty of lawyers. I know plenty of them who'd go pro bono for that large sum, getting a chunk of that change. And
absolutely.
Oh God, yeah. But of course, everybody in all these sports people and all this stuff got to put in their 2 cents. And the dumbest thing is all of them obviously never watched the fucking case. They say stuff like there are people thinking that he shot a black man. They were all white.
They're all white guys, yeah.
These people never watched the case. Either that or they're just being literally, someone's whispering in their ear saying, hey man, did you hear about this Kyle case? Did you hear about this Kyle case?
Some people are saying like, oh, he's racist. It's like, what do you mean he's racist? Literally everybody that was there that was involved in the case was white.
He must have been self-hating.
It's like, yeah, self-hating. Or there's a lot of things that I know people have been saying about it. They were talking about like, well, he shouldn't have been there. It was like, yeah, neither should have all of those fucking protesters.
Rioters. He was in the middle of a riot. He was actually so in the case. If people watch the case, they prove that he was there assisting the people there. He was getting rid of graffiti.
Yeah.
He was taking down graffiti that these people were putting up everywhere. He was literally putting out dumpster fires. Literally putting out fires.
He was giving medical aid as well.
Yep. Because of these fucking rioters. Because there's a difference. Once a protest becomes violent, it becomes a riot. There is a big difference between the two, and that is what happened. And I'm sorry, man. If someone's going to start hitting somebody else with a skateboard, dude, do what you have to do. Protect yourself.
Exactly.
Teach that law enforcement, man. I can't help anybody if I'm dead.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't help anybody if I'm dead. There's people, and this is a hot topic in law enforcement in general. They talk about why did that officer step over all those children, and why couldn't he stop and help? Like an active shooter or something like that. Well, there's a reason. If he stops to help that child, he doesn't know where that shooter is.
He's vulnerable.
He's vulnerable, and then if he gets shot, that's another body. He's not helping anybody, and now they're gonna have to send more people in. And if they keep doing it, it's going to be an endless, revolving door. You need to go and eliminate the threat and then assist. Evaluate and assist.
Yeah. You eliminate the current threat and then you assist, which some people were saying as well with dealing with the case. They're like, oh, having a rifle was an open invitation for violence, essentially. It's like, who in their right mind wants to tangle with a dude that has a fucking rifle on them?
People who are mentally ill.
You are a dumbass if you feel like that you need to go bash this dude over the head with a skateboard while he has a gun. He has a fucking gun.
Yep. They are mentally ill, man. Because
it makes no sense.
Well, what they want to do, I mean, another argument there is they were trying to take away his Second Amendment rights. His, you know, he has a right to walk around with that firearm. Now, there are different things about it. The news keeps saying he's 18, 19, he was 17. He was a minor.
He was 17. He was a minor.
He's a minor. And I don't get how the news can get that twist. It's a single lookup. You can just look it up on Google. How old was he? He was 17.
He was 17.
You know,
and I mean, even here in Alabama, like, you can have a rifle and open carry with a rifle as long as you're 16.
Yep.
Without a license.
Yep. Well, and that goes from state to state. So the state law there
Obviously,
might be different.
yeah.
We're in the South, and here in the South, you know, people carry guns around with them now. You know, and I don't know anything about like his, if you know a vehicle was there or any of that kind of stuff, because if you know a vehicle extension of your home. You can carry anything you want as far as firearms in your vehicle and not have to have a concealed carry for it in the state of Georgia because a vehicle is an extension of your home.
Of your home. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And which people think that is, you know, I'm not gonna get on that whole topic, man. That's a whole can of worms. If I get onto that, I'm gonna be here for a while talking about it. But
the point is
yes,
everything that the prosecution was trying to pin on Kyle was either outright false or it was straight up slander.
Yes.
They pulled up I said this joke the other day, it cracked me up. They really tried to pull his fucking Xbox 360 chat records from when he played Call of Duty because they used the fact that he played Call of Duty as a haha, we gotcha.
Yes,
they pulled up his TikTok username. What relevance does that have to the fucking case?
Have you seen some of the memes that people are dropping? Like they're great. They're fucking
That's
legendary.
The best thing that's come out of this, dude, was the memes.
The memes are so good. There was one, and it was the DA, and oh my god, what was it? Do you know that if you were two more kills away, you were two more kills away from a strike or some shit?
A UAV.
Yeah. Oh my god, it was really funny.
I think my favorite one was it's the scene from Halo 2 where Commander Hood goes, Master Chief, defend this station, and then it cuts to Master Chief, and it's just got Kyle Rittenhouse written over his faceplate, and he goes, Roger, I need a weapon. And it just turns to fucking Sergeant Johnson, and Johnson's got the judge written over his face.
Oh, yeah.
I need a weapon.
I'm trying to find the one right now where it was like Kyle in court and the sheriff deputy was in front of him and it says, Kyle, we have another case for you. And he's like, I told you, Sheriff, I left that life behind me. And
dude, how long before South Park picks up on this? I want to know.
I don't know. They haven't. I wish South Park would do more stuff right now.
Bro, they did the Zimmerman thing. They've got to do one for this.
Oh yeah. This is the classic, man. This is the classic, but I love it. And it's so a pedophile, a domestic abuser, and a felon all walk into a bar. And Kyle says, shots are on me. Oh, there's so many good ones out here, man. Like I spent
it's just so good.
An entire day looking through one. There's the one with the Fallout VAT system with Kyle points the rifle up and it says 95% on right arm.
Dude, it's so good.
It's beautiful,
the
man.
The memes are really top tier that came out of this. I'm putting that one that I was talking about in general in our Discord because it genuinely is hilarious.
If I can find that sheriff one, I'm gonna post it in there too. By the way, guys, anybody who's watching at this point, thank you. Also, we do have a Discord. So you can check us out on there. We have a link on the YouTube page. We also have it up there on the banner on the YouTube page. So any of those ways, y'all can come and chit chat with us. We just, of course, we made it pretty much for us to just talk about, topics or what we're doing with the channel. And if anybody has anything they want to put in, as long as you're not being an asshole, you can come and join. Yeah, we don't really tolerate bullshittery, so.
But yeah, I mean that definitely, the memes that have come out of that are great, as well as the verdict. The verdict was definitely a big win in terms of self-defense cases across the board. And I think the biggest thing as well is people are equating the fact they were like, if that was a black man, then he would have never seen a trial. He just would have been jailed. That's not how the justice system works.
Well, that's people who never watch court cases. They just pull up a news article and see that somebody was sentenced. They don't actually go and look for the case.
Dude, if he's sentenced, he went through a fucking trial, and the only reason this is a big case is because it's a fucking political trial, is essentially what it is.
Yeah, it's for politicians, the left and the right, to just bitch about who's right and who's wrong.
And despite what people's leanings are, whether it be left or right leaning, it was a win, not for either side. It was a win for self-defense cases, because this just doesn't apply to just white people. This just doesn't apply to black people. This applies to everybody in terms of self-defense when they're trying to defend their livelihood from an attacker in the cases that exist similar to the one that was just ruled on. Because any lawyer worth their salt, like, you look at it in terms of, because riots are a big thing nowadays. It shouldn't be the norm, but it happens.
Yeah. People
who defend themselves now against these riots, or quote-unquote protests, as it were, because I want you to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
They fucked themselves because they referred to the riots, the entire case, as protests. So now, whenever there are quote-unquote protests that turn violent, that still are quoted as being protests,
fucking riots,
any lawyer worth their salt can absolutely easily defend somebody who used self-defense to protect themselves from these protests.
Yeah, they're fucking riots. I don't care who you are, man. That's exactly what they were.
But I know that, but I'm saying that in air quotes, and that's what I'm saying they fucked themselves, is because the entire time the prosecution was referring to them as protests. Okay, you should have been referring to them as riots, because now in any other case that is using this case here to refer back to it for somebody else's self-defense case, the left is always going to call them protests.
Yep.
So you pretty much fucked yourself there, buddy.
Yeah. That is one thing. Their phraseology and terminology, they have to get that shit straight, man. They really do. There's a lot of stuff watching this case, and I watched a good bit of it, especially when I had downtime at the station, I'd be watching it. But I can tell you, like, phraseology and terminology, people are going to have to get on point and not take any shit. I mean, you can't change the definition of a word just because you think it. It's this whole thing, like what people do with racist. Oh, you're racist. No, you're not racist just because you don't agree with this or you think this about this. You can have your own belief system, Doesn't mean that just, people are like misusing words. They're changing the verbiage to suit themselves.
I mean, I'm going to be honest as well. Racist, the word racist within itself is the wrong term anyways, because we're all the same race. You should be more referring to colorist, because we're all the same race. We're all
skinists.
Skinists, exactly. We're all the same race. We're all humans. There's no different race among us.
Yeah, Lane. The word of the day will be skinist.
Skinist. Okay.
It's the word of the day.
Bro, we are definitely not skinists. but that's what I'm getting at is even the word itself as it stands is just wrong. And using the term racist makes you wrong because we're all the same race. There's no different differentiating races between us. We are all fucking humans. If aliens decide to show up and then we hate aliens, then yeah, at that point we're racists. But
let's say
you can't be racist because the very word and definition is just wrong.
Yeah, again, people twisting words to fit whatever they want. That's what it is. It's what we've always done as a society. Is we do whatever we can to get people to support our belief because we think our belief is the right one.
Exactly.
But I think that'll be a good point for us to end it out today, guys.
Yeah, definitely a short session without Cap.
Yeah, but it's still running about an hour and something, and that's not bad. Hey, I know
About
a lot
an
of
hour,
people.
10 minutes, yeah.
I don't think people want to sit around and listen to us talk for 4 hours straight. But I want to give one more shout out, guys, to TSR and the TSR Con. They've been really cool, really chill with us, and I am flabbergasted with the how welcome we were. I mean, tell me you agree with me, right? We were strangely welcome.
It was very
With
honestly with arms wide open.
Yeah.
But
Complete Scott Stapp.
It was nice. It was very good. I did not expect somebody as important as the chief creative director to respond to us, as well as actually talk with us a little bit. With any hope and any luck, I do want to get him on here as a guest one day, hopefully.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think even if it's for a 20-minute segment, I think we get him on here, hit him with a couple. I already got a couple questions I want to ask him of just about what he's done in his past, and like things I was interested. I was like, oh, he's worked
with the Department of Homeland Security.
I saw that, and that was one of the things I wanted to talk with him about. There's a whole bunch of things I saw, and I was like, I want to pick this guy's brain. But he's an important man, and I don't want to hold him up for an hour or even
Absolutely.
30. I'm like, maybe 15, 20 minutes, have him come on, and he can bounce, do whatever he needs to do.
Yeah.
But
either way.
Yeah, guys. So I think it's going to wrap it up for today.
Yeah.
Anything?
I would say that's a good point.
Anything y'all want to say?
I'm good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right, guys. I guess it's going to be it. Later. Out.
Goodbye.
Started as a whisper, message from a new world I'd never known. Something about it felt like it'd been waiting my whole life. Is this home? I can hear each sound calling my name, and I feel angels around when I start to sing inside. much fun.